Hey everyone, welcome to a bonus episode of the Craft Parenting Podcast.
Who dey think gonna beat them Bengals? Nobody.
Definitely not the Kansas City Chiefs.
We beat them last year.
And this year.
Full disclosure. Oh yeah, and this year. Full disclosure.
2022.
We are recording this before the game. Right now, the Giants. Wait, is it the San Francisco Giants? No, who's 49ers?
49ers.
The 49ers are playing the Eagles, and it's 7-21 with the Eagles up by a lot. They almost went for a 2-point conversion when they had 20 points, and we're like, "What are you doing?" But you do you, boo. And then they changed to just a field goal.
Yeah, well,
Sports ball.
You put yourself in front of the TV, and my back is to the TV.
Because we will have a better time recording this way. Because the last time we recorded in front of a football game, I think I did 3/4 of the talking because you were doing the majority of the watching.
That is very true.
No, it was a Bengals game.
So we're recording these out of order. So in this week's episode, we are sitting in the living room, family room, whatever you want to call it, watching the wild card game. I believe it was.
And now we're getting ready to watch the AFC Championship game.
Yeah, so kind of out of order. We already know that the Bengals won the wild card because they're in
Podcastlandia. Time is a construct.
Well, I just wanted to put that context out there because people are going to listen to this on Monday or Sunday if
surprise.
Get it out in time.
The 49ers are kicking it away again because they did not make it far enough to go for a field goal.
And then on Sunday, all of a sudden, we're talking about the wild card game.
Yeah. Well, we just like to keep things interesting. That's what we do. So today, we are day drinking, DEY. I am drinking a very old White Claw, which I'll talk about in the next episode, so you can hear all about that then. We don't need to harp on that any more than we already have.
2 episodes ago. Or two episodes.
2 episodes from now. But we are currently drinking you have the can, but I have the description.
Yes. It is Kenny's Day Drinking Lager.
DEY.
Yep. It is a beer by 16 Lots, which we haven't been to 16 Lots before.
No, we need to get out there.
It's in Mason.
Which is forever away. That's like...
It is forever away.
It's like 40 minutes. Totally doable, though.
It's doable, for sure. We just need childcare.
Or just to...
I think
it, we're taking the kids.
I think they have food at 16 Lots.
I'm going to do some research on that while you read the side of the can.
But if they don't have food, there's like 5 breweries within a mile of 16 Lots. Warped Wing is out there too. We took the kids there.
Yeah. They have Mad Monk's Pizza, which the kids would love. So, yeah, we need to make a Saturday of it.
So Kenny's Day Drinking Lager is a light lager. Ken Anderson gave 16 years of his life, his entire pro football career, to our beloved team in Cincinnati. Now his charity continues with that same spirit. I don't know who this guy is. Ken Anderson. I guess I probably should know who he is. A portion of the proceeds of this beer helps the Ken Anderson Alliance. Here's to 16 years of cheers.
He was a football player for the Bengals.
Obviously, he was a football player
Quarterback.
for the Bengals. So it has a picture of, I guess, an old-timey Bengal. Or just a standard football player, because I don't think this is necessarily endorsed by the Cincinnati Bengals.
So he was a Bengal from 1971 to 1986. That was well before our time. And he was a coach from 1993 to almost 2000 to 2009. He had it looks like he might have had. Oh wait, so for the Bengals, 1993 to 2002. And then he coached for a few years at Jacksonville, and he coached for a few years at Pittsburgh, which I don't understand how you could coach for the Bengals and then go and coach for Pittsburgh, but you do you, boo.
Money.
Money definitely plays a big role in that. But he was in the Pro Bowl 4 times. He was twice the NFL passing yards leader. He was 4 times the NFL passing rating leader, and he was 3 times the NFL completion percentage leader between 1974 and 1983. He won all of those things.
All right. Thank you for that, producer.
Just using the good old Wikipedias.
It's a beer website, right?
Yes.
It is 4.2% alcohol, so very comparable to like a Bud Light.
I'm gonna do this. Julia and myself need to have a Google off one day to see who has the fastest fingers.
Oh, geez.
She'll probably beat me, but I at least want to try to put in a valiant attempt.
7 IBUs, Lake Crisp. This is the perfect beer to enjoy before the roar in the jungle. The text is really small.
Would you like me to read it?
No, I got it. Roar in the jungle. 16 Lots Brewing Company in Mason, Ohio. So it's a very light lager. So my original plan for this was to take like a 24 pack of Hootie Delight and just crush it. I couldn't find Hootie Delight. You could.
I walked past it and probably should have picked it up, just at least as like a haha kind of thing.
Yeah, so we brought the kids to the grocery store today after church.
Yeah, we divided and conquered, and I was very proud of us because I don't think that we double bought anything. We almost did, because I was about to pick up a loaf of bread before I saw that you had a loaf of bread in your cart. But we didn't.
We didn't double buy anything, but we split up. So when I was buying beer, I was looking for Hootie Delight. Like, I have no idea where it is.
I saw it and then was like, no, Joe won't drink that. And then
was it on a it wasn't in the refrigerator?
No, it was in a end cap. So as more color commentary, because this just popped up, the 4th string quarterback that's playing for the 49ers, Josh Johnson, has played for more teams than anyone in NFL history, as well as the XFL, USFL, and AAF. So he's played pro football since 2008, where he started with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, played for the 49ers in 2012, played for the Bengals in 2013 and 2015.
He's a QB? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah. Played for the 49ers again from 2020 to 2021, and now is back with the 49ers 2022 to present. Now, whether he actually played games or just was available to play, I'm not sure. But that is what someone on my Facebook feed said.
So it must be true.
Yes. I mean, this guy actually is like super good about fact checking stuff before he posts it.
Hey everyone, Joe Ludwig here with the one and only Caroline.
Hey!
Before we get to the main topic of today's episode, we wanted to pause briefly and tell you about how you can support the show.
So if you enjoy listening to the podcast and reading our blog posts every week, then you now have the opportunity to support the show through Buy Me a Coffee. Here's what you need to know. It's super easy to do. You don't have to set up an account to contribute. You have options. Send us a one-time donation or sign up as a member to contribute on a monthly or yearly basis. Plus, you can unlock exclusive content.
To learn more about how you can support the Craft Parenting Podcast through Buy Me a Coffee, click the link in the show notes. And now, back to the show. So in addition to day drinking, we're going to talk about Game Day snacks.
Or as we call them with the kids, snicky snacks.
Yes. So why don't you start?
Being a professional eater, self-proclaimed.
Yes.
And like a semi-professional chef, because I cook stuff a lot. Though Joe does most of our everyday cooking now, I do a lot of the like specialty cooking. Ooh, it makes me sound fancy.
Specialty cooking? What do you like? You mean like?
I make the fancy mac and cheese. We both make lasagna.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's like your recipe though. Same thing with the Christmas casserole.
The breakfast casserole?
Yeah. You make it a Christmas Day usually.
Yeah. Well, or days that we want to murder each other. Because you always need to have snacks on hand.
Well, I've stopped asking for it other than Christmas Day.
because otherwise we murder each other. The breakfast casserole is great for brunch as long as you have a breakfast beforehand, because it takes, or you've done a bunch of prep work the night before, because it takes forever to make.
And you always say, I think it's done. I'm hungry. I think I'm going to eat it anyway.
And then I burn my tongue, and we have to put it back in the oven after we get our 2 slices that are good out of it, so the center can finish.
Every time.
Well, now we don't have a convection oven, so it's going to take forever. So game day snacks this year,
that thing doesn't convect.
No, I don't have a convection oven anymore, which makes me very sad. Now, granted, we have a baby oven and a big oven, because it's one of those like dual oven type deal things. So that's interesting. I'm learning to like that. But I really miss my convection oven.
What does the downstairs one convect?
I don't know. I haven't looked at it enough. It might. I don't know. Probably not though. So like to air fryer or not to air fry, like today we made cauliflower bites. Probably would have tasted better in an air fryer or a convection oven, because an air fryer is just a convection oven with a little bit of oil in it.
It says buffalo cauliflower bites.
There's not a lot of buffalo in
there is zero buffalo.
The people of Buffalo would be very disappointed. So like cauliflower bites, those are like a new thing where it's like, you can pretend like this is a chicken wing, but really it's cauliflower. So, hey, you're going to get some veggies in. They're tasty, though.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
The cauliflower. So we do not have an air fryer.
We do not. And maybe I need to buy one now that I don't have a convection oven anymore. Because an air fryer is just a convection oven with a little bit of oil in it, as I stated like 2 minutes ago. I have feelings on this. Whether or not they're true, I don't know, but I have feelings on them.
Okay. What are your feelings?
Why am I going to put something else on my counter space when I have a perfectly good oven right next to it? Granted, I now miss my convection oven. So there's that.
Yeah, we convected that all the time.
All the time.
Mostly
it cuts your cooking time down so much.
Lasagna, meatloaf.
It's so weird because it's like, oh, this will be ready in like half an hour. Oh, no, it's going to take like 45 minutes to an hour. But we'll figure it out. We'll get through it. We will endure this difficult time together as we learn how to deal with the new oven. Well, the new to us oven. So wings or cauliflower bites / fake wings are really yummy and really easy go-to.
Well, I have feelings about this though. I like cauliflower wings, quote, I'm using quotes. What really grinds my gears is, as a marketing person, I understand you have to market it as a wing, because then people will accidentally pick it up. Oh no. They'll pick it up by accident. This is sometimes a strategy for like a off-brand. Like they control the spaces, the shelf space.
Yeah, they control
they'll
packaging.
They'll make their label kind of look like a P&G product, but not enough to like infringe on the trademark or whatever. And they'll put it right next to it, so that if a mom or whoever's shopping is just glancing, they'll accidentally pick up the Kroger brand and put it in the cart. And then they'll pay less for it, potentially. And then they'll use it, and then they'll be like, oh, this works just as well as the old brand. Yeah. As the other brand that I got. Or they'll be pissed.
Yeah. Usually I'm like, dang it.
Yeah.
It just depends.
But yeah, that is a marketing strategy.
Yeah. Sometimes there is a distinct flavor difference, or like a longevity of life. But that's like a whole different rabbit hole.
But yeah, you can call it a wing, but that's the part that grinds my gears. Cauliflower wings. What about this is a wing? It's deep fried cauliflower. Yeah. It's not chicken. It's not a wing. It has breading. Mozzarella sticks have breading.
Yeah, those are also on the list.
So it's not a mozzarella stick. So I don't know. I understand why they do it, but I understand why they call it, cauliflower wings or whatever. It's a marketing thing. but it's stupid. It's not a wing.
Okay, so the next bullet point on the list, we're on bullet point 2 now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Is skyline dip, which is very much so the next 3 ones are skyline dip, skyline muffins, and cheese conies, which are all very much Cincinnati centric snacks, but are delicious. And I will fight you if you think that they need to be removed from society. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean that you need to get rid of it for everyone else.
Marco. So here's a rabbit hole. Skyline or
Again?
Skyline or Gold Star?
I mean, part of it depends on the day.
I was very specific. I put Skyline.
You were, because that is kind of the name brand that has been associated with conies in Cincinnati. Like that, like there, you will find way more Skyline restaurants in Cincinnati than you will find Gold Star.
I don't know if that's true.
It totally is. I can hit 3 Skylines without ever hitting a Gold Star.
I think it's on the west side.
Yeah.
I consider Gold Star like a kind of like an east side thing.
So I grew up on Gold Star. There was Gold Star by my grandma's house, and she would drive me there like every other time I was at her house.
Where did your grandma live?
Springdale. So like north.
Yeah, north. Yeah. Mount Healthy.
Technically still west of 75, but north. We cracked open a new beer. So before we get distracted again, we are currently drinking a common ale from Westside Brewing.
And
Westside, Westside.
Thank you. Thank you, Caroline. So the common ale, Westside, has packaging. It exists. I've seen pictures of it with the stripes on it, the Bengal stripes on it.
But we do not have that packaging. It is sad and white, and it is a blank canvas.
It's black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're going to pretend like it has the stripes, though.
Okay. We can have Lily pull out her markers when she wakes up from her unwanted nap.
Yes.
That she very much needed. So it is 4.7% ABV. The description is clean, crisp, and refreshing. A slightly sweet, lightly malty aroma fades into a dry, snappy finish. The perfect beer for those looking for lighter flavors.
Mm-hmm. It's very similar to, well, the style is similar, I would say. The taste is distinct.
Oh, yeah, the taste is definitely different. It's like when we did our Pilsner episode and had like 4 different Pilsners, and they were all totally different.
Well, this is an ale, and the day drinking lager is allegedly a lager. So they are different. But this is a little bit heavier, I would say. The day drinking one it's very light. You can crush them like beer after beer after beer. This one, it's a little bit different. Like I said, it's a little bit heavier. You can still crush it. It's definitely crushable. Perfect beer for a tailgate. It's not super high ABV. It's a little bit higher than the Kenny's one, but nevertheless, it's not super high. I don't know if that I've had the common ale in a very long time. That's not my go-to for at Westside.
Well, it also hasn't been the season for it. Like, it's been cold outside, so we've been going for more like the malty roasty beers versus a common. But like when you're drinking all day, you need to plan out for it and either eat a ton and assume that you're going to gain a ton of weight because you're drinking a bunch of these heavy beers with a lot of heavy food to offset the drunkenness from the heavy beers.
Yeah.
Versus a light beer where you can probably crush an extra 2 or 3 with fewer snacks.
I just mean like when I go to Westside, I don't go for the common.
Yeah, well, we usually go for what's new too.
What's new,
like,
yeah.
What's interesting? What's
but
the
I don't
buzz?
know that
Tell me what's happening. What's the buzz? Tell me what's... It is the season for that here pretty soon.
Oh, yeah, we're getting there. I don't know if anyone will recognize that reference.
Also, I have super noticed that anytime you say Jesus Christ lately, you have been adding superstar after it.
Because Lily's brain is a sponge.
It really is. And like, I have had times where I'm like because when I get in the car, I plug my phone in. One, so my phone can charge, and two, so I can be like, okay, let me know if there's any major incidences between me and wherever the next place is that I need to go. And like my podcast will pop up first because it's like, hey, you want to listen to your podcast because you are in your car. And I have to like frantically hit the FM button to turn on the radio because sometimes we're like at a point in the podcast, like not our podcast, but other people's podcasts that I listen to, where it's like, this is some not child-friendly language. And Lily absorbs everything like a sponge. I didn't think we were paying attention to that, but nope, we totally were.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
Yeah, we don't want her swearing.
No.
Especially at preschool.
So I just popped a new snack in the oven that I am super excited for. Like I've seen this at Kroger like 10 times and have wanted to get it like 5 of those times. But then decided that today I was going to get it. And Joe was like, what? Why are you getting this? Like, this is weird. And I'm like, are we going to actually make a dinner tonight? No. Yeah. So we just need like super awesome snacks to hold us through. So this is a super awesome snack. This is roasted brie with caramelized onions wrapped in pastry dough. So it's like a little roasty brie present. And I'm super excited for it to like dip crackers in it or like put it on bread. I don't know, but I am stoked.
And you got like 5 different types of crackers.
Okay.
When we went to the store.
I didn't realize that we already had Ritz crackers in the cabinet, but I think that they're wheat crackers and I just got plain Ritz crackers. We're all out of saltines. We're all out of oyster crackers or soup crackers, which is like a tragedy. And if you're going to make Skyline this week while I'm off in Tennessee, you need, which is in the past now that this episode is releasing, but you're going to need like easy stuff to make with the kids and like...
Well, this episode's releasing today.
Oh, sorry. Okay. So yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow as of the releasing of this episode.
Today or tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Yeah. Today.
If I can get it today.
So you're going to need to be able to make like Skyline, and you can just like, here's some oyster crackers and some noodles and some Skyline and some cheese and have at it. And the kids are gonna be like, yes, this is the best thing ever, Dad. We love you so much. Why is Mom ever home? You're going to be a rock star. Like I'm setting you up to be a rock star. So I got you the kids' 3 favorite crackers.
Okay.
And then I got 2 fancy crackers for the brie dip.
I didn't know. Do you heat up brie typically? What am I thinking of? Like a cheese ball?
So brie is typically, yeah, you're thinking of a cheese ball, which is another snack. So, but specifically what I have listed on here is dip and a carb-based vessel. Because otherwise I was going to list out too many things because you've got like guacamole and salsa and tortilla chips, or you have like various versions of cheese balls and crackers, or just cheese and crackers. So like any kind of carb-based vessel for any kind of semi-solid or liquid dipping thing.
Yeah.
So brie typically, like you would see it on a cheese board, but it wouldn't be hot, but it's a very melty cheese. Like it's a very soft cheese. Okay. So it's just going to get super roasty and yummy in the oven is what I'm looking for. It's from Murray's, which is a good cheese company, allegedly. I don't know. Kroger partnered with them, and now there's a Murray's in like every single deli that Kroger has.
Okay.
Throwing out the brand. Sponsor us.
Did we mention Skyline muffins? Because that's a kind of a weird thing.
I like kind of glossed over it. You got into the Skyline Gold Star rabbit hole. So Skyline muffins are brand proprietary to Joe's friend group.
Don't tell him how to
I'm
make
not allowed to give the recipe out or I will be murdered. But they're really yummy and they're super easy. And we get yelled at for making them wrong all the time. But I like the way that I make them. So sorry, not super sorry.
Yeah.
Because like you're supposed to serve them with onions on the side and with mustard on the side. But like I just put the mustard in with them.
Is that what he said?
Yes. Because it's like a cheese coney where you can decide what toppings you want on it.
I've
But I'm
always
like, everybody gets mustard.
I've always put mustard in them.
Your mom also made them. Like, I make a way more true to recipe version than your mom did.
But all of us have been more true to the recipe than Stephen and Hillary.
This is true. They wanted to use some. They used like, what did they use?
Like a brat.
Yeah, they like used brats, and it was like
I met.
It was like, oh my goodness, what are you doing? No, you can't do that. No, you cannot use those for this purpose.
Because brats are white, right? VP
Yeah.
for blank.
Yes.
They use the met.
Oh yeah, so they use like spicy Mets or something like that. It's like, no, that's not how this works. It's just straight hot dogs. Straight hot dog. It's a Skyline cheese coney, but in muffin form.
And you can't use Gold Star either.
You would also get yelled at for that one.
Because I remember making Skyline dip once, and then I only had frozen Gold Star. Because growing up,
Gold Star was cheaper frozen.
My mom bought the frozen. We didn't buy it in cans. Like you buy it in cans. I don't know.
I buy everything in cans.
Yeah, I don't know.
They last for forever.
I don't know if it's better or worse, but whatever.
But other snack that I forgot about, pizza pinwheels. We make those all the time. Well, you make those all the time.
That's my specialty. We talked about your specialty, the angry mac and cheese.
Well, we didn't talk. We like glossed over it. So like we just said, like I consider myself like our specialty cook now. I make angry mac and cheese, though now the kids are older and are more likely to eat mac and cheese. I have to make it like slightly frustrated. But Stephen and Hillary will not let me live down the Super Bowl party that I brought our angry mac and cheese to.
Before kids, yeah.
Before kids. And me and Tony were the only ones that would eat it because everybody else said that it was way too spicy. And Tony's like, yeah, I don't know what they're complaining about. This stuff is great. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know either. This is delicious. And everybody else has like tears streaming down their face after one bite. I've toned it down. Like I toned it down the next few times that I made it because I felt a little bad. But it was so good.
Didn't Tony say he was eating it just to be polite?
He might have let that slip later. But see, then the thing is too, like we go to like your family and they're like, no, make it hotter. So I just need to tailor it based on where so now that I do that the kids are older is I'm like, here is a side of sriracha and here is a side of Frank's Red Hot. Spice it to your liking. I need to make sure the children will kind of
So it's mac and cheese and chicken. That's your
so
that's the specialty, mac and cheese.
Yeah, so it's from scratch. I don't milk the cow. I don't make the pasta, but everything else is like it's just, it's ingredients into a thing. It's not like I have a can of something that does 3/4 of the work for me. I make the roux. I make the cheese sauce. It's really yummy.
Yeah.
But it takes forever.
It does take a while. It takes less time than the breakfast casserole, though.
It does take less time than the breakfast casserole because technically you can eat it off the stove. We just normally, we wait till it's baked in the oven because then it gets all nice and crispy and fancy. It's like 3 different flavors of cheese. It's so good.
Did we talk about pigs in a blanket?
No, we haven't. So pigs in a blanket, which is like our kids' favorite thing right now, though they prefer the pigs with no blanket. So Lily loves to help me make pigs in a blanket.
This is a Midwest thing, right?
I feel like it's like an everybody thing, but I don't know. Like, because it's crescent rolls that you like cut the crescent roll in half and then you roll up you roll up like a mini hot dog in it. So
yeah, you can buy like a
Kroger box of pigs in a blanket that you just stuff in the freezer.
No, I was going to say you can either buy hot dogs and cut up the hot dogs, or they make the
like mini weenies that like you would use for like the sweet barbecue weenies.
Yeah.
So I usually try to use the mini weenies. And then, so the first time I made them with Lily, we cut our crescent rolls long ways into 3 pieces. And then after the kids just eating the weenies and peeling off the crescent roll, because these kids love carbs, but don't want to eat I'm so confused. Children are confusing.
Yes.
So now I just cut the crescent roll in half. So then just have like a bunch of hot dogs that are just roasting in the oven with the pigs in a blanket. I'm like, here, kids, here is your pig without a blanket. Enjoy. And they're like, this is the best thing ever, Mom. They'll eat like all of them.
Jalapeno poppers.
Yeah, so I have made these from scratch before, and it was a pain in my butt, so I will not make them from scratch again. I just buy them frozen.
I don't remember you making them from scratch.
I made them for a Girl Scout event. I did not make them for you.
Ah!
Maybe you can convince me to make them from scratch again for the big game.
This is where an air fryer would come in handy.
Yes. I for sure do not want a deep fryer. I know that I would get injured doing that.
You don't need oil for an air fryer. You mentioned oil.
It's a convection oven that sits on your counter. That's all an air fryer is.
Yeah, but it doesn't have the room as an oven does.
Correct. It doesn't. So you can't like put as much stuff in it. So you have to like do a few loads to make enough for a giant amount of people. And then just like a veggie tray. Like veggie tray is quick, easy. I say quick and easy if you buy it from the store. Like they're a little bit to put together yourself. Just like anything that's finger food and like easy to quickly munch. And like your veggie tray gets you some stuff that's like kind of healthy versus just like carbs and fried things. I mean, like you can do like a charcuterie board too, if you're into that. We have some friends that make some pretty good charcuterie boards. I'm too lazy.
And that's just a board of meat and cheese, right?
Yep, that's meat, cheese. Usually some kind of like mustard or like jelly or something as well.
Relish, yeah.
Yeah, some kind of relish. Whether it's sweet or savory can depend. But what did you just crack open?
I cracked open the final beer in this podcast episode. It is called Jackpot Joey. It is the Game Day Ale by Brink Brewing Company in College Hill, Ohio. And it is 5.2% ABV. I don't know. I don't think it has an IBO. But the description is there a perfect game day beer? We think so. A golden ale for a golden era. The beer in this can is carefully crafted to remain light, crisp, and easy drinking without sacrificing flavor. Enjoy from tailgate to touchdown. So we are tailgating, and we are going to witness many touchdowns. According to this beer.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. I'm still finishing my comment, but I'm almost done with it.
All right. No rush.
So yeah. So like overall, generally encompassing with your game day snacks, easy to hold and eat. Just like cruise by stuff. Because you're going to have like different flavors of people that are hanging out on game day. You're going to have people that are there for the sports ball and need to eat because otherwise they're just going to be staring at the sports ball the whole time. So you have something that's quick and easy for them to grab. You're going to have people that are just going to graze and hang out by the table all day.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to throw some healthy things in there for them. And then usually you've got at least a few kids running around. So like some stuff that they are willing to eat as well. Which usually a veggie tray fits that.
Veggie trays, fruit trays. They love strawberries. They love any berry, really.
Yeah, I'm going to throw some carrots on their plate this afternoon and she's going to be like, oh my goodness, carrots. And then Ellie's going to be like, what is this? She ate like half an orange or 3/4 of an orange today. Because I was like, oh yeah, we got this orange here. I should probably like divvy that up for them for snack.
She requested an apple earlier.
Yeah, so I probably need to chop up an apple for dinner. And Elliot was like, what is this? And just kind of stared at it. He might have put it in his mouth, but then ate everything else around it. And Lily was like, more orange, please. More orange, please. More orange, please. And I think that I ate a slice and then I had 2 slices left and I was like, here, Joe, you get one of these and I get the other. I think Lily ate the rest of it.
She was like begging us for strawberries.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you've had too much.
Yeah.
You need to go to sleep.
Yeah. So if you're into it, you can make local sports team snacks. So like the teams that are in the Super Bowl or the big game whatever like is local cuisine for them. Have some of that hanging out to like potentially broaden your horizons. There are recipes out there to make your own Cincinnati style chili. It's definitely not the same, but you can make it from scratch.
They have packets.
They do sell packets as well.
It's just like Cincinnati style chili.
Yeah.
You add your own ground beef.
But you boil the ground beef. You don't cook the brown. You don't brown the ground beef and then put in the spices. You put in the ground beef and the water and the spices, and you let that thing simmer. And tomato, yeah, lots of tomato. And you let that thing simmer for a long while, and then so yummy. It is our go-to for the kids' birthday parties. Is
the packets
of Skyline and either noodles or hot dogs.
Tip for when you have teenagers and you're about to go on summer break. Mm-hmm. This is what my mom did. She made probably 5 pounds of chili and just froze it.
Yeah, I can see that working very well in your household with 2 growing boys who probably attempted to eat her out of house and home. I see glimpses of Elliot's future of eating us out of house and home.
Yeah.
He has days where I like yesterday, he barely touched his dinner and was like, yeah. Now, granted, part of that was probably because he was tired because we got home super late. But then other days he is a bottomless pit and like, you're like, okay, you're done, bud. And he's like, nope. And shoves another handful of food in his mouth.
Well, he just says, all done. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to take the plate away. No, mine.
Shovel more food in mouth.
And he continues eating. But he's the one that said, all done.
Yeah.
So make up your mind, bud.
Yep.
2-year-olds.
They don't know what they want. So that's what I got. I mean, I should probably...
We need to talk about this beer.
Yeah. Ooh.
So this is...
delicious.
Like I said it before, it's by Brink Brewing Company. It is a bit heavier on the alcohol, so it's out of the 3, it's the most. Mm-hmm.
But it's still 5.2%, which isn't like a lot.
It's still not crazy, but it's still golden in color, but I feel like it's a bit darker in golden color, if that makes sense, than the Kenny's.
A smidge, yeah.
It's definitely darker than the Kenny's because Kenny's was like bright yellow, I feel like.
Oh man, is that 6 minutes or is that, I think that's 6 minutes. There are 6 minutes left in this game and it is 7-28. San Francisco does not look happy.
This is going to be a East Coast game. Superb Owl.
Yep.
Hopefully.
No West Coast representation for the Superb Owl.
Well, no, definitely not because they're about to lose.
Yeah.
I don't think they could come back from this, but I could be wrong.
I mean, you got 5.5 minutes.
It's 28-7.
And they're about to go for a field goal. So it could be like 31-7. We shall see.
But it's in Arizona this year. So that's what pissed me off about the Bengals game. It was the Super Bowl in 2022. Mm-hmm. The calendar year 2022. But the 2021 season, I guess. The Bengals played the Chargers. Is that what? It was LA. It was at LA.
I think so. Like it just happened to be that the team that was hosting the Super Bowl was also in the Super Bowl. Like the stadium that was hosting the Super Bowl.
Yeah, so they got like home field advantage. It was ridiculous. But it's supposed to be in Arizona. I think it's Phoenix, Arizona this year.
Oh, it was the Rams. We played the Rams. Because it was at SoFi Stadium in California.
They changed names. I mean,
yeah, well, because the Chargers moved and the Rams moved, and it's very confusing when they do that.
Yeah, that was ridiculous.
It was the second year in a row for the Super Bowl where a team playing won in its own stadium.
Yeah, because Tampa Bay was the previous year.
Probably.
Anyway, this beer.
It's really yummy.
I really like it. It's I wouldn't say like out of the three, as far as like tailgating and crushing, this is. I wouldn't necessarily say to crush this. I would just say enjoy it.
Yeah.
Like I would advise against crushing the Brink one. The Kenny's, it's good, but it's meant to be crushable, like a Bud Light or a Miller Lite or whatever, any light beer. But the Brink one, it has a bunch of flavor. It's kind of heavier as well. There's a lot going on with it. I would just say enjoy it.
Faux show.
Versus like crushing it. And you could do that for any of them if that's your style as well. Like the common ale, there's a lot going on with that too. But
I mean, it's a solid all the year beer.
Yeah. And the Kenny's, nothing against the 16 lots, but like it's very light. It's a little less complex than the West Side Common and the Brink, if that makes sense. It doesn't mean it's a inferior beer. Like I enjoyed all these beers.
They were all very tasty.
And I don't think I said this either, but the Kenny's Day Drinking Lager, that was the first beer I've had from 16 Lots. Maybe I did. We mentioned that we haven't been there before.
I feel like we've had beer from there before, but it might just be that it's been a while. I don't know.
I guess that's possible too, but from my we don't do the Untapped stuff, so I can't check. But yeah, so that's our tailgating. We just podcasted a tailgate.
Woohoo!
Oh, are they fighting?
I don't know.
Maybe
because it's hard when it's like this. Like last year's Super Bowl was like very frustrating towards the end, but we made it a good game up until like those last 4 minutes. Like it was close. It was a good game. And then
they just imploded. They needed to call a timeout.
They really needed to call a timeout, get everybody's head back in the game.
Slow it down because whoever, LA Chargers,
Rams,
whatever. They were like
they were just kind of feeding off the momentum of like because
they just kept going.
We were up.
You needed to slow it down.
Yeah, we were up and we were gonna win, and then like they got a touchdown that we were not super anticipating or like we weren't super happy about because now we were losing. And it was a little bit of a struggle. And instead of like saying, hey, let's call a timeout and let's get everybody's head back in the game, they just kept doing play after play after play. And you could just see the whole line start to implode. And they needed a second to breathe. I'm hoping that they learned from that. And that, I mean, that's definitely a more calm and collective team so far. It was a very clean game for the wild card game. That wasn't the wild card game. That was the AFC divisional game.
The divisional, yeah. That was a good game in Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Of course, it was like a freaking blizzard.
Yeah.
But I will say, on that note, I was very surprised the Bengals went to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
in 2022.
It was crazy.
Because it was each game, I think it was wild card, divisional, championship, Super Bowl. So each game minus the Super Bowl, it basically what came down to a field goal.
Yeah.
Or some kind of kick.
And we were still very much in the mindset of the Bungles. And, it's the fourth quarter and we're up by 10. What way are we going to find to not win this game?
Right. Well, that's very valid. We grew up in the 90s. That was like the worst of the worst.
We had Bengals. Chad, quote, Ocho Cinco, end quote, Johnson, and Carson Palmer.
Kidna.
Yeah.
Before.
Yeah,
Carson
we had
Palmer.
so like they were a great duo, but like the rest of the team was not as. They were prone to implode in the fourth quarter. So it was okay. Hey, we're doing great, but now how is this all going to go?
They weren't very disciplined.
No.
We can go on a different rabbit hole about the ownership.
Definitely, the ownership was part of the problem, and I
the
have
leadership, ownership,
because Joey is a semi hometown kid. He's from Ohio.
Joe Cool.
He is so he's not like a local boy because he's from Akron, but he is Ohio, and he is going to be less likely, we'll see, to say, hey, you need to multiply my salary times 10 because I just did X, Y, and Z. He's going to be like, yeah, increase my salary, but make sure that you're paying decent for everybody else on this line. So it's not like, because like what was the game that we just did? It was the
Buffalo?
Yeah.
That was the last game.
Yeah, the last game. So Buffalo, it was like 2 of their players are like 60 or 70% of their pay for the whole team. Versus Joey and Mixon. So Burrow and Mixon are like 10% maybe of the team's salary. So it's a little bit more even across the board, and it's not just like we got these 2 high-paying guys.
Is that true? Like, I don't know how I can look that up, but I don't know about that. A quarterback, he's going to get offers. That's just
yeah.
like,
I mean, that'll be the big thing is whether or not he gets an offer to go somewhere else and he takes it.
Just like a coach, right? A coach is going to get an offer.
Yeah, but that better send those refunds. That was a real cool quote. And like
that's ridiculous. By the way, f*** you NFL. F*** you.
Yeah. Though I also liked the press conference where he showed up in the backup quarterback's jersey because he forgot about the press conference. He grabbed a jersey and it was not his jersey. And they're like, hey, why are you in the backup quarterback's jersey and not yours? And he's like, oh, I am in the wrong jersey, aren't I? I grabbed a jersey and I grabbed this one, and that's just the way today's going right now. Like it's just one of those days, but let's have this thing and let's get back to it. Cause he's Joe Cool.
He's kind of savage. Joe Savage at some points. But I mean, it's the media. You have to play. He's required to do media interviews.
My favorite
He's not required to be nice.
Yeah, my favorite was that was a few years ago, but there was the guy who like did not want, and we've totally digressed at this point, but whatevs. There was the guy who did
bonus episode.
There was a guy who did not want to do interviews, but like he had to. So he would just like sit there and like eat candy of the week. So like 1 week it was Skittles.
That was the Seattle guy.
Yeah. Or Starburst. So he would just sit there and eat candy and be like, I'm just here so I get paid. Like, y'all can ask me whatever questions you want, but I'm not going to answer them.
Oh, no, I'm getting confused. Was he Seattle or Philadelphia?
Let's see here. Football player eat during.
Because one of the Super Bowls, and this is what you're talking about, it was Seattle Seahawks versus Philadelphia Eagles. And they both are, I think they're both green and white.
3 days later.
So I think Seahawks might be it.
Okay. He was like the wide receiver for the...
Marshawn Lynch.
Yep, that's the guy.
Yeah. And literally one of the quotes was, I'm just here so I won't get fined. That's what it was.
Okay. It is now 31-7.
Yeah, they did make that field goal, and there are 3 minutes left in the game. I think I'm going to call this and say that the Eagles are going to win.
All right. I think that's a safe bet.
Unless if the 49ers are going to act like the Bengals in the mid-2000s. I think it's pretty safe to say that the Eagles are going to go to the Super Bowl.
No, it's 3 minutes. I don't think you can.
Oh, man. Some of those 49ers players are just like, why am I still here? Poor guys.
Did it freeze?
It did. It does that every once in a while.
Come on, YouTube TV. What am I paying you for? And this is like when you say you're not paying for YouTube TV. It's a free subscription.
Well, it's a free trial for like a week, and we're past that week. So I guess technically you are paying for it now.
Oh, damn it. Well, I got it so that I could watch the playoffs.
Elliot's waking up. That does it for this bonus show. Thank you so much for listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to us on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Craft Parenting Podcast. If you liked this episode, keep listening to more. If you didn't like this episode, listen to some more episodes before you make up your mind. You can get a hold of us via email at Craft Parenting Podcast. Rate and review. It helps our show grow. Let all your friends know about us. Randomly download us onto your friends' phones. You should totally do that.
Definitely.
We have a website, www.craftparentingpodcast.com. You should go check it out. Joe has an Instagram at craftparentingjoe. I have an Instagram at Caroline Creates Crafts. He's Joe. I'm Caroline. See you next time on the Craft Parenting Podcast. Do you want to add anything, Joe?
I'm good.
Bye.